I've received a number of requests to do videos on the 201 chassis. In fact, one viewer said, "Hey buddy, can you show some love for the 201? In this video, I hope to do that. I've been looking for the opportunity to purchase a 190E gas engine 201. And this particular car recently came up and I decided to go ahead and purchase it for the purpose of making some of these videos. And so what I want to do in this video is talk to you a little bit about the process of going out and finding one of these. These can be nice cars, but they can also be money pits, especially if they've been abused. So the most important thing when you go looking for a 201 is to just make sure that that car has been loved. And by loved, it's been taken care of. It's not going to be that you're going to find this pristine garage queen, but at least find one that isn't all beat up and run out. I always look at three things when I go to look at a car. And in the past 15 years, I've probably purchased over 300 Mercedes. So by now I have a pretty good idea what I'm looking for. But the first thing is I look at the body. And I'll do a walk around on the car, and usually that first walk around within 1 minute will tell me whether I even want to consider purchasing the car. And what I'm looking for in the body is there any rust? Is there any evidence of body damage? How's the paint? I don't want to have to get into rust repair, repaint. I've actually had people write me and say, "Hey, can you provide me with some body panels for my 123 chassis? The car's all rusted out." And I'm saying, why bother? These are not rare cars. There's a lot of them available. And if you find one that has a lot of body problems, needs a repaint, just walk. It's going to be too expensive. There are other cars out there. Secondly, I'll take a look inside the car. I'll look closely at the seats. Is the upholstery broken down and torn? If there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the interior of the car, I may take a walk, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. And finally, I take a good close look at the engine and the mechanicals. Now, those are the three areas: body, interior, and engine mechanicals. When I look at an old Benz, I'm looking for one that only has major problems in just one of those areas. If you find one that has problems in 2 areas or 3 areas, take a walk. You don't need the car, even if it's cheap. And I've often said there's nothing more expensive than a cheap Mercedes. So this car has a few problems, but there's nothing major about it. And in future videos, I'll kind of take you through each one of these areas and show you what I found specifically on this car. And for those of you who are not familiar with a 201 chassis, well, they look a little bit like a 124 chassis. And when you spot them, they look kind of the same in the front, kind of the same in the back, but they are smaller than the 124. You're going to have to look at the trunk. All of them will either have 190D or 190E on the left side of the trunk. On the right side will be a number which designates the engine displacement. That's a clue as to whether or not you're looking at a 190E if you're not familiar with the 201. So how many more videos am I going to do on the 201 chassis? That's going to have a lot to do with the type of response I get from this video. If you have a request for a video or instruction that you would like to see, you can leave it here on YouTube. Please do not leave questions about the car in specifics. I just do not have the time to answer those questions. But I will look at the feedback, and if I see a trend on what people want to see, then I will include those in future videos. And together we'll try to show a little love for the 201 chassis.